We set out from Guerrero Negro this morning and put Baja California Sur behind us. It's going to be a big off-road day as we climb up to Mission San Borja before crossing over to Bahia de Los Ángeles and the Sea of Cortez. This little gang escorts us from their neighborhood and onto the trail, which starts out well graded and flowing. And it isn't long before we enter the magical landscape of the desert forest. We finally encounter some wild horses, and they can hardly be bothered to clear the road. Riding this flowing, generally well-graded trail through this incredible scenery is the highlight of the entire trip so far. Here, we encounter our first major wash. I hate sand with a passion, but we're able to stick to the tire ruts and traverse it without incident. The forest gets even denser here, and we pause to explore on foot. Oh man, it's like a desert forest in here. This mixture of cactuses, saguaro cactus, tuna, ocotillo, these awesome Dr. Seuss trees. But once in a while you get these little guys with the red spines. Very sharp. I'm one of those people that love the smell of creosote. Gasoline-like smell. Reminds me of a good peaty scotch. Flowering cactus. Look at that's just a flower stalk right there. All those flowers on there. Bees pollinating. Yeah, this desert is full of life. Lots of birds. Some lizards I saw already. A couple of scurrying mammals. Beautiful. Back on the bikes, the trail continues. Still fast and fun, but increasingly littered with washes and rock gardens. And now, the road is just inside of a wash. Sand and rock. At this fork in the road, all signs point to the mission. We basically flip a coin and go to the left, and immediately find ourselves back in the wash, the longest stretch of deep sand yet. Here's the final turnoff for the mission. Dubbed this the mission's cobblestone driveway. One final test of faith before arriving. Look at how big these cactus stalks are. This huge stone church rising out of the desert, surrounded by endless miles of rock, sand, and cactus gardens as far as the eye can see, is really an improbable sight. In fact, it's the most remote stone mission church in all of Baja. You can even still see the remains of the older adobe church and the original Camino Real here. For hundreds of years, this area was a seasonal settlement for bands of the Cochimí people, who were drawn here by nearby hot springs whose waters were potable after they'd been cooled. With no writing and a very minimalist material culture, what little we know of the Cochimí comes from the unreliable writings of the Jesuits, who first encountered them. While there are abundant cave paintings in the region, the Cochimí told the Jesuits that these were not of Cochimí design, and were created by the ones who came before. The settlement here was established in 1758, and within 10 years there was a population of 1,700 Cochimí living at this mission. Control of the Baja missions passed from the Jesuits to the Franciscans in 1768, as the Spanish crown grew concerned that the Jesuits were gaining too much power in the region. It was the Franciscans who established the first adobe church here, whose remains can still be seen today. By 1801, responsibility for the missions shifted once again, this time to the Dominican order, who erected this stone church. But as disease and lifestyle changes took a toll on the Cochimí, the population plummeted rapidly, and by 1816, the mission was abandoned. To get back to the trail, we have to exit through the cobblestone driveway once more. Another chance to really get my money's worth out of that Olin suspension. As we continue east toward Bahía de Los Ángeles, the road is nothing short of spectacular. Twisty, rocky, fast, and with some of the densest cactus gardens we've seen yet. We see the first signs of civilization in over 40 miles, and I assume we're near the end of the technical riding. But then I decide to throw in this ad hoc creek crossing for good measure, and then take a nap in the deep sand, which runs all the way until we hit the pavement. After some uneventful miles on the pavement, we arrive in Bahía de Los Ángeles. It's a quiet little fishing village, surrounded by the aptly named bay and an archipelago of islands.